Welcome back to the OHIO podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Buckeye Boggs, a.k.a. the Podfather, and you are you, and we're thankful you decided to join us this evening for another Sunday evening discussion roundtable show. We really do appreciate each and every single one of you being with us. Hey, do us a big favor, smash that like button right off the bat. Do it now. Don't forget. Get it done right now this second before you forget, because you know how things go in the chat. When things get a little rowdy over there and you might forget to smash that like button. And hey, share the show. If you're watching this on the old Twitter or Facebooks or whatever you're watching it from, share it if you don't mind. That'll help us get as many people into the chat and participating as we absolutely can. And that is what this is all about. We are the official Ohio State podcast of Fansided and Scarlet and Game. Head over to scarletgame.com. If you don't like the way my face looks, I don't blame you. Neither does my ex-wife. You can listen to us over at scarletgame.com. or wherever you download podcasts. And if you do, please consider giving us a 5-star review. That would help us out immensely as well. We are the official Ohio State podcast of the College Huddle. Head over to the College Huddle where you can visit us and 80 of our other closest friends from coast to coast over at thecollegehuddle.com. Today's episode is brought to you by A Place at Home Senior Care. Is your loved one recovering from a recent hospitalization, stroke, or fall, or living with dementia and needing support at home? A Place at Home Dublin provides home care supportive services like bathing, dressing, mobility assistance, and medication reminders, all in the comfort at home. Learn more at aplaceathome.com/Dublin or call 740-472-8181. And now we're going to bring on this evening's roundtable. The home team here is Cory and Sean. Welcome back, Cory. Missed you last week, and welcome, Sean. Last time you were on, you're a guest, but here you are now. Sean, you are you're one of the big guys here. So, and apparently Sean can't hear me. Cory, can you hear me, Cory?
I can hear you. Yeah.
All right. All right. Sean can't hear me. Well, I guess, Cory, it's going to be you and me here at first until Sean figures out some audio issues. So let me just jump down and we'll do a two-man crew until Sean can figure that out here. So, well, bam! I guess well, they're falling like flies. All right, Sean, work on your. It sounds like you got audio. I can hear you. You can hear, but you can't hear us. Can you hear Cory, Sean?
Sean, can you hear me? Yeah, you can hear me.
All right.
He says you're frozen, Mike, and he can't hear you.
Yeah. So what you need to do, Sean, what he needs to do is he needs to back out and come back in.
This is like being weird for me in my head now. I'm calling you Mike.
That's all right, Cory. Cory, tell Sean. Yep, exactly. Yep. All right. So now that we got that covered, it wouldn't be the OHIO podcast without technical difficulties, Cory.
Of course.
I mean, that's just kind of par for the course these days, right? I mean, that's how we roll here. But anyways, we got some crazy things. No wild man. Keep the wild man in your thoughts. His wife, Bobby, had we think might have had a heart attack today. So
Eesh. I didn't thumbs up that, by the way. I was talking to Sean, so I don't want anybody thinking I'm thinking that's a good thing. Clearly it's not.
So remember that. Can you hear us now, Sean? All right,
Sean,
that's what
good.
It was. Sean needed a little bit of a refresher there. So sometimes you got to back it out and back her back in. So now we got Sean with us. Welcome back, Sean.
Thanks, guys.
All right, good to have you with us. Thank you there, Ryan Daysbeard. Yep. Remember Bobby. So the update I just got before we got on is they're running some tests. She's okay. She's stable right now. So they're just running some tests to find out what happened. And Chris says he more than likely will be back tomorrow night to do the call-in show. But I told him I'd be happy to fill in for him tomorrow night. But that's just some programming issues. So yep, thoughts and prayers for Sean, for Bobby. We're just calling everybody different names tonight. That's what we're gonna do.
It's the opposite day today.
It is. All right, so I'll be Sean. Sean, you can be Cory. Cory, you be Eric, and then we'll just
this won't be confusing
everybody.
at all. Yeah. Huh?
Right. While we have Wargo working out his technical difficulties, we're going to go ahead and jump in tonight to the conversation. So Let's start here, guys. There is a top 25 preseason poll or top 25 out already. Now, it is a way too early top 25, obviously. This is, we all know this. Andy Staples put it. I don't know if anybody got to see it or not, but so Andy Staples put out a top 25. Let me see if I can't grab that real fast to show everybody what this looks like. Oh, but let's start here. Cory.
Oh boy.
You have a top 25 as well.
I decided to make a top 25 in retaliation to his, although mine might just be as idiotic as his. I don't know.
Okay. So, okay. Sean, you frozen again, buddy? Yeah, he is. All right. Let's do this. Let's break this down a little bit better here so that we can make this a little bit professional. Try to, anyways.
I think our guest might be working now, though.
Wargo, you here now?
I can't hear him. Oh,
nope, still nothing from Wargo. Still no volume, buddy. All right, we're gonna keep trying, guys. We're gonna keep efforting this, but let me throw
white
up.
Knuckle this episode.
Yeah, we're flying by the seat of our pants tonight. That is for sure. But let me throw this top 25 up for everybody so that they can see it here tonight real fast. Andy Staples, where are you at, Andy? Where are you at, Andy? There you are. Let's throw this up there and make sure that everybody can see this. Thank you for that. All right, here we go. Let's see. There we go. Okay. All right, let's start here. Number 1, Texas. Number 2, Notre Dame. Number 3, Clemson. Number 4, Penn State. Number 5, Ohio State. Your thoughts, first off, Cory. What about this top 5?
I think 4 of the 5 makes some sense to me. I don't know about that order, but I'm okay with 4 of the 5. The one that's the black sheep in that top 5, if you look at what they have coming back, is Notre Dame. They don't make any sense at 2. Now, I think Marcus Freeman's a good coach. I think he's a tough, gritty coach, one of those lunch pail Midwestern coaches who can make his team play better than what they appear. They got good running back coming back. They got good wide receiver coming back. Offensive line's got experience, but it's makeshift experience. It's kind of I wouldn't say youth movement, but you just don't know what they have coming back on the offensive line. To me, that's very important. CJ Carr, I guess, figures to be the starter possibly. I mean, he hasn't. I don't know. I don't always trust a quarterback who hadn't played yet. But their defense will probably be pretty good. Their front 7 looks to be pretty experienced. So losing Xavier Watts doesn't help. But that being said, I think their defense will be pretty solid. But number 2, I don't trust them yet for that. Not to say they can't make the playoff and can't make a run. I just don't trust them there yet.
I get Clemson and Penn State because of how much talent's returning. I understand where he's thinking here, okay? But I think he's putting a lot of faith in Notre Dame. Yeah. If you ask me my opinion there. Texas over Ohio State. I guess if you're going to put stock in Manning, right? If you think Archie Manning is the real deal, then I guess maybe I could understand putting Texas ahead of Ohio State. Mm-hmm. It's hard for me to put Penn State ahead of Ohio State because of the James Franklin factor. It just is. His record against Ohio State is awful. Clemson, to me, you got to prove it to me on the big stage now. It has been how many years since Clemson's been legit for real?
18. I mean, like 2020, they were in the 4, so it's not like they weren't legit that year. We just beat them. So they lost a championship game the year before to LSU, then they lost the semifinal to us the next year, and since then they really haven't been there. So it's 2020.
Brian New York says CJ Carr is the real deal. Trust me, talk about Notre Dame. Well, that's
I'm
the
not
same.
saying he won't be good. I just have no idea. I mean,
Hey, look who it is.
hey,
There he is,
there he
watching
is,
from the hospital. There you are,
the
buddy.
wild man.
Yeah, no, you could be Brian New York. You could be right about C.J. Carr, but I think to me he's no different than what you would be saying about Julian Saint.
Yeah, I could see that. I'd say Arch has a leg up on both of them because he has serious playing time.
Yeah,
And he's actually got some good. He had 13 total TDs, 900 and something yards passing. Started a couple games and won. I'm not saying he's the second coming, but he's shown more than what those two have shown. And
and if you're gonna put that kind of stock in a quarterback, then don't you have to put Penn State and Clemson basically ahead of everybody in Cade Klubnik and
spoiler
Drew
alert:
Aller?
Clemson's my number one.
Oh,
Penn State's my number two.
okay. So you are taking okay, all right.
I believe I am in today's day of NIL and transfer portals. I believe in returning experience probably more than anything.
You know what? I think that you have to take that into account. Oregon 6, and then look at where Bama, Georgia 7-8. That feels odd to me.
I have Bama as my number three because they have 14 returning starters, including key guys at left tackle, at center. I don't. The only issue with them is who's the quarterback,
Well,
and
it can't be any worse than it was last year.
I know that's my point. Milrow was terrible. I mean, Kalen I think finally kind of gets his more style of quarterback to play this year. I don't know who it's going to be for sure yet, but when you have that much talent returning, I thought Alabama was destitute because they had so many people transferring out. Turns out now they got a ton of talent coming back next year.
Illinois 9 is I've been trying to tell everybody Illinois was going to get some love. Andy Staples, the first one to put a top 25 out who's national here, and
Mm.
he really puts a stamp on Illinois here, putting them inside the top 10. I didn't think they would start in the top 10, but here Andy Staples says, "Yeah, you should probably put them in the top 10." Illinois is this year's Indiana, guys. You might as well mark it down. But the thing about it is Indiana started with zero expectations last year.
Yeah, they did.
Illinois now is starting with some expectations. Does that affect them? We shall see. But Illinois in the top 10, agree or disagree?
I have them at number 10. 17 returning starters. I can't ignore that. And they were a really tough team last year. And Brett Bielema usually is a pretty decent coach.
Florida is interesting to me. They are making kind of resurgence. This is kind of put up or shut up year. It's either crap or get off the pot for that coaching staff. I feel, and you're down there in Gator country. I kind of feel like Florida is kind of that SEC team that can be like, hey, if there's a fourth one invited to the party, let it be us, right?
Yeah, and Florida, to be honest with you, DJ Lagway is the real deal. I like him a lot. They have a lot of returning talent. They're like one of the top 10 teams in returning talent this coming up year. And they were starting to surge at the end of last year and do better than what we expected. And I look at that and I say, you know what? Tennessee losing Nico, all of a sudden there's an opening in that division. Florida, I put Florida at 7.
Gotcha. Okay. So welcome back, Sean. And
Thanks.
I know, and hopefully Wargo will jump back on because we could hear him.
Yeah, we could hear Wargo.
Yeah. So all of a sudden he's gone now, Ken. I think he thought we couldn't hear him. Okay. You looking at this top 10, Sean, where do you have some discrepancies here?
I agree with Notre Dame. I do think they have some. The whole quarterback thing is a mystery. Cory's right. I totally agree with them. I think Clemson should be probably number 2. I like us before Penn State. Oregon, I hear Dante Moore's been struggling pretty bad, so that other quarterback looked better, but I think they should be in the top 10. I think the top 10's pretty much right, except maybe out of order. I'd drop Notre Dame down much lower than where they're at right now, maybe 3 or 4 spots.
Okay. 11 through 15, you got Texas Tech, South Carolina, Auburn. Auburn way too high, sorry. SMU, why? And LSU. And LSU's, I mean, LSU could be good, or they could just, I mean, there's Brian Kelly there. So, Brian Kelly might be worse than James Franklin. Texas Tech, I was told yesterday by someone in the Big 12, that might be the team to watch out for. That Texas Tech could be this year's Arizona State out of the Big 12. They have spent more NIL than any other Big 12 team.
Except, oh, that's right, Texas and SEC now. Okay.
Come on, Cory, it's 2020.
I know.
Cory playing that NCAA 2014 still. I just feels so weird, doesn't it?
It does. I'm still not used to it, even though it's been 2 seasons, I think. Or one? Has it been 1 season for them or 2?
1.
Okay.
Well, this will be the second. This will be their second year. But
okay, so I get some grace there. Okay,
sure. But I'll say this: I'm still not used to Oklahoma in the SEC. To me, they're still in the Big 12. For some reason, Texas seems to be an SEC feel to me already. Maybe because we played them already, and it was the whole SEC's last hope thing. But let me send Wargo a quick message. But that was, that's the one thing for Oklahoma. I'm just like, I don't know, man. South Carolina is an interesting team too. Watch out for South Carolina. They got a good quarterback. They're a building program. Them and Illinois went wire to wire. That feels like, if you're going to say 4 SEC teams get in, to me it feels like you got Bama, you got Georgia, you got Texas. Could it be Florida and South Carolina battling out for that? It kind of feels like it to me. What do you think about that there, Cory?
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think I had South Carolina at 12 for me. The good quarterback. Beamer's got something brewing there. Yeah, good skill position. Underrated skill positions people are going to see this year. So,
Sean, what do you think about any of those, man, in the next group?
If you look, South Carolina was one team nobody wanted to play at the end of last year because they were that good. I mean, good young defense to quarterback. If he takes that next step, could be really good. SMU, I'm not sure. I don't know how much talent that they returned from last year's team. I mean, they did make the playoffs. We don't know how good the ACC is going to be, so maybe they're the number 1 team in the ACC again. I mean, Auburn, I think, is too high, and LSU, I think Brian Kelly's the most overrated coach in college. I have no faith in Brian Kelly.
Yeah, there's a lot of. Oh, did we just lose Sean?
No, I'm here.
No, he's here. He just froze up. Yeah.
Okay, you're frozen up again, man.
Oh.
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Oh.
Okay. Anyways, let's move on to 16 through 20 in Andy Staples' top 25. Arizona State at 16, Michigan at 17. Now, let's talk about that for a second.
Okay.
That seems they're going to tell you that's they're better than that. Are they?
I think that's fair. They returned 13 starters, so it's not like they have nothing coming back. I just don't know about the running back position with Jordan Marshall. I mean, they got Justice Haynes for a reason, who's a solid player, but how good is Underwood? I don't know. I mean, quite frankly, I know it's just a spring game. I get all that, but man, he was awful in that spring game. So, in fact, even the touchdown pass he threw was underthrown. It was just bad. And I just look at that and go, I think it's going to take him a few games to really get into any kind of rhythm and show if he has any potential or not. I just don't think he's going to come out right out the jump and be just, holy smokes, this guy's good. There's some quarterbacks that do that. They come out the jump and you're like, okay, this guy's something to mess with. But Bryce, to me, I mean, it's just a spring game. I hate putting any evaluation, but it's the only thing I can talk about with him. You built him up to be this Superman, and I see him struggle pretty mightily in that spring game. I'm like, I don't know. I don't think he's quite Superman yet. So I could see in the top 20, but I don't think any high. I wouldn't put him higher than 15.
Sean, what do you think about the team from Ann Arbor being at 17?
If you looked at their schedule, they got a pretty weak schedule. So I actually think I I think underwear is going to give them, a lot better shot of winning than what Davis Warren did. But if
Yeah,
we all remember what Braxton Miller did as a freshman, there's going to be times that Underwood's going to make amazing plays, and everybody's going to go, "Wow, that kid's awesome." Then he's going to make the freshman mistakes. He's going to throw into double coverage. I expect teams to play a lot of different coverages and confuse them. I mean, I'm sure he'll probably take a game or two where he wins with his legs and his athletic ability, but I think they should be top 20. I think they might sneak into the playoffs actually with just how weak that schedule is.
Yeah, depending on what happens with Illinois, that could be interesting. Yeah. BYU 19, Ole Miss, or excuse me, BYU 18, Ole Miss 19, Miami 20. Miami 20? Cory?
They have a good offensive line. They got good running backs. They have a lot of NIL money in them, but I have no faith in Carson Beck. I think that guy is fool's gold at best, and they overpaid for him. So I have Miami at 20 for me as well. Just like they got enough talent to maybe do something in the ACC, but they aren't going to be what they were last year, I don't think.
Sean?
I have no faith in Carson Beck either. He's horrible at the deep throw. Weak conference, so there's a chance that they could, sneak into the playoffs. They do have a lot of.
Oh, if they were Big Ten, they'd be a 6-win team. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's a chance they could sneak in, but like Cory says, I don't trust Carson Beck. I think Cory's right. He's fool's gold. So.
Nicholas, Tennessee comes in at 21. Nebraska starts in the top 25 at 22. Iowa State makes the third Big 12 team at 23. Actually, fourth Big 12 team if you count. I forgot BYU's in there. Louisville. You got to say it like that. Like you have marbles in your mouth. Louisville at number 24. And Kirk Ferentz won't die. 25. Come on, Kirk. Goodness sakes. And he's got the Big Ten rounding out there in the top 25. Cory, what do you think about the last five there in Andy Staples' list?
Completely disagree about Iowa State. I put them in my top 15. They got a ton of returning talent. And they're always a pain in the neck to deal with, especially with Matt Campbell. I think they're going to be formidable this year and be very tough. I think they were a 10-win team last year, and they bring back like 15 starters. I mean, it's like how do you put them at below Nebraska and Tennessee without Nico? I didn't have Iowa in my top 25. I don't really understand that one, but whatever. I think Louisville's interesting with getting who did they get at quarterback transfer? Miller Moss from USC. Jeff Brom, kind of interesting there. He's actually building something kind of decent in there. Plus the ACC is terrible. Riola's second year was Nebraska. They usually have a decently tough defense, except when they play Indiana, apparently. And Tennessee's my 25 because I just put them in there because they're talented enough. But without Nico, I have no idea what to think about them right now.
Sean?
I think I'd drop Tennessee down a little lower because I think the defense is going to be tough, but they didn't really have much on the offensive playmakers. I mean, going back to last year besides the running game and Nico's gone. So, I mean, I think they're going to have to start probably one of those 5-star freshmen or, McIntyre. I mean, talented, but very, very young unless they go with one of the older guys that I really don't know about. I just know about McIntyre. So I think they're going to be a little lower than what they're saying. Nebraska, I think, could make a playoff run. I think them, Michigan, and Illinois. I think Illinois is a little bit better, but I think those three are going to be, fighting at the back end to try to get our fourth playoff team in the Big Ten. I like Miller Moss going to Louisville with Brom. Brom's a great offensive mind. Iowa State's got a lot of talent back. I think they can be dangerous. And Iowa, I mean, they're going to run the ball and they're going to play good defense, and they probably still don't have an explosive offense. So who knows if they're going to win 8 or 9 games.
Well, to be fair, explosive offense was outlawed in Iowa. They haven't allowed it since 2002.
I mean,
so what do we think about? Let's do this, Cory. Give me your top 25 since you took the time to give out a top 25. Why don't you put that in there for everybody?
All right, I'll start at 25. I got 25 Tennessee, 24 Nebraska, 23 Louisville, 22 Auburn, only because of Jackson Arnold with a new wide receiver core. It'd be kind of interesting. SMU, I got 21. It's enough experience coming back. ACC is pretty weak. Pittsburgh might surprise people, though. 20, I got Miami. 19, I got BYU. 18, I got Michigan. 17, I have Ole Miss. 16, Texas Tech. 15, Iowa State. 14, Arizona State. 13, LSU. 12, South Carolina. 11, Texas A&M. How nobody's talking about them is beyond me. Number 10, Illinois. Number 9, Oregon. Number 8, Notre Dame. Number 7, Florida. Number 6, Georgia. Number 5, Ohio State. Number 4, Alabama. Number 3, Texas. Number 2, Penn State. Number 1, Clemson.
Can you hear us now, Mike? Oh, we still don't have volume from you, Mike. We had volume from you last time you jumped on. Now we don't this time. Man. Okay. How many Big Ten teams should be in the top 25 and why, Cory?
I don't put Iowa there.
No, I don't either.
Well, how many did I put in there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think. I think I put in 5, 6 actually with Nebraska. The top, I don't even know what to think about Oregon because I'm not a big Dante Moore fan. He stunk at UCLA. I don't know what he's going to do at Oregon. Oregon's talented and Dan Lanning's tough. Ohio State's always extremely talented. Ryan Day's a winner. James Franklin, even though he bites the big one in the big games, he's usually a 10-11 win guy. He's going to be there. So that's 3 guaranteed, in my opinion. After that, I think Michigan will be in the top 25 overall with all the returning starters, and Bryce Underwood's more talented than Davis Warren. Nebraska, they should take a leap. They have a good program to start and to slowly build there. I think those are the mid. Like I think Sean said it best. Illinois, Michigan, Nebraska are going to fight for that back end to get to be the 4th team. But I do think the top 3 are obviously Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, and then after that, it's those other 3 teams that are going to fight for that 4th team to be in the playoff. And so I think 6 is a reasonable number.
Lisa says, how good do you think Georgia will be this year? Lots are saying they won't be that good this year. I think they'll be good enough to make the college football playoff, or at least be on to make an argument to get in. But I think Bama's better than they are this year.
I think Georgia will lose 2 games in the regular season and do kind of like what we did last year without the playoff run. They'll just be an 8, 9, 10 seed type thing.
Yeah. Now, how good's their quarterback going to be? I know he started. That's going to be the question mark right there because they're going to have a good defense. I mean, they got some tall, stocky receivers. Going to have a good offensive line. Good running backs like always, but it's going to be that quarterback that's going to be. I mean, he was different than Beck. He could run the ball really well, but is he going to be able to make the throws? I mean, I think that's what it comes down to.
He just needs to be. It's Stetson Bennett, game manager, but they don't have the same offensive coordinator that was really good for them. He went to the Ravens and is leading Lamar Jackson into MVP type seasons. So I think Todd Monken was his name, but they haven't replaced him.
He was actually offensive coordinator for the Browns for a year.
Oh, Browns have actually had a lot of good coaches go through their. Jeff Hafley was on the Browns staff at one time. They've had a lot of good coaches go through their ring there.
Troy V, no faith in Indiana. No. It's Indiana. When's the last time they had
I think last year was a fluke for Indiana.
What do you always say, Eric? You're Missouri, show me.
Yeah, show me state.
Show us that you can be consistent, that you're building a consistent program instead of just the 1-year fluke that you bought a bunch of people in from the transfer portal and hit, lightning in a bottle.
Right. No, that's a good point. It does make you wonder what he can do multiple years in a row. I will definitely say that. So I don't know, guys. I feel like this top 25 is that Andy Staples put out. I can see where he's going up at the top of the list, but I also feel like a lot of these guys do this to kind of get clicks and responses.
More
that this is
podcasts about them, yeah.
yeah, or us talking about it, right? Yeah, exactly, 100%. Like, yeah, I know how to do this. I'll just I'll get these guys talking about this these top 25. So I guess for that, we should thank him for giving us some content. But let's go ahead and move it on over to this one. I find this one incredibly interesting. Check this out, guys. So this was a tweet, a graphic and a tweet made by a Michigan State fan. How's he
Are you
pronounce
sure?
his name? Spirit. Well, Michigan fans are going to tell you he's an Ohio State fan.
He loves Ohio State more than a lot of Ohio State fans.
At least Ryan Day, he's the biggest Ryan Day fan. I mean, honestly.
And Urban and Jim. Yeah, he
Yeah.
loves them all.
Yeah. So, anyways, listen to this. Since Jim Tressel, okay, so what is that? 2001.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how Ohio State ranks overall in these categories since 2001 when Jim Tressel took it over. Wins. Ohio State is first. 7 more than Alabama. And 10 fewer games, mind you, which is incredibly interesting. Wargo, we got you this time,
All right.
buddy.
We can hear you, Wargo.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, it's okay, buddy. We'll keep working on it, but yeah, we can hear you now, but no problem. Okay. So Ohio State is first in all-time wins, 7 more than Alabama. Ohio State is first in win percentage at 847. Alabama is second at 799. That's now, Wargo, you're getting a bad echo when you did that. So whatever you did, don't do that. Yes, we can. Yes.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. All right.
Hello.
Yep. But can you hear us?
Yes.
Oh, he's
Okay, I can hear you. Is the echo bad? Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on here. I mean, we had really bad storms here this week, and something might be messed up. My apologies.
It's okay, Wargo. We're getting a really bad echo, though, man.
My apologies. It's okay, Wargo. We're getting a really bad echo.
You're gonna have to try. Okay, you're gonna have to try to figure that out because it's rough. Okay, he's gonna move. I got you. I see what you're doing now. Okay. So, all right, and now let's go back to this. Sorry about this, everybody. So you got top 5 finishes. Alabama, Ohio State is first. Alabama is second with 12. Ohio State has 16. In the national titles, Alabama is first with 5, but Ohio State is second with 3 on that list. So that being said, here's the question. And this really stems back to an argument that Chris and I have had for a long, long time. And that is this. What is a dynasty? And are we living in an Ohio State dynasty? When you look at that, it kind of looks like we're in a dynasty. The closest thing you can get to one without winning multiple times under one head coach. What's amazing about that is this is under 3 head coaches, and Tressel, Urban Meyer, and Ryan Day. Cory, I'll start with you, man. Are we living in an Ohio State dynasty?
We are definitely living in, I want to say, golden age, but it's been going on for 25 years now. I don't know if you can say that. I wouldn't call it a dynasty because it needs to have more national titles. I don't even think. I think we're tied with LSU for second, more than likely. I think they have 3. But I think without you see, this is the glass half full, glass half empty group. The glass half full sees that and goes, man, we are amazingly consistent of a program, and it's not just the head coaches. We are hiring quality head coaches so that the top down, the system works. But some fans will look at that and say, how do we not have more national titles if we win this much? So whatever you prefer. I want to win more national titles, obviously, but I can't complain about the fact that I get to watch a program that wins 10, 11 games pretty much on a regular basis.
Mike Wargo, since you're with us, man, good to have you with us this evening, Mike. What do you think? Are we living in an Ohio State dynasty and we just didn't realize it?
I don't know how this is going to go, but can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, this is crazy, but I think that we are an Ohio State dynasty. Basically, you take a look at what's going on. We've only had like one losing. I'll go over here to get out of the echo. We've only had like one losing season in the last 2 years. That's in the last 30 years or 40 years almost. 2011 and 1988. I think, the factors as far as getting back this year, we have so many holes to fill. But we have the transfer portal. Looks like we're getting some great recruiting. And, I think we are in a dynasty. I think, and we have to really respect it because remember the teams like 35 years ago, Nebraska, they dominated everything. What are the teams that have really done incredibly well? And now they haven't done anything in years. So we're very lucky. Thank God Ryan Day wasn't fired after Michigan in an emotional way. And, I think things are going to be great.
Sean, are we living in an Ohio State dynasty and we just didn't know it?
I wouldn't say we are. I say we're living like what Cory would say, the golden age. I think you got to get more national titles if you're going to be in a dynasty. If you look at most dynasties, they win a lot. They win more titles. They're in a shorter period of time. But I can't complain with what we're living in, man. I wouldn't trade it for any other program. How consistent we are. I mean, we're the only D1 school that's never had like a rebuilding period. I mean, we'll have like one bad season, then we're back contending again. I mean, we've never really had a down period, since I've been alive. I mean, I'm 46. I know we've had 2 losing seasons in 50 years. So I mean, I know sometimes we wish we had more titles, but come on, guys, enjoy this because it's not going to last forever.
Yeah, there will be a down period at some point, and yeah, I agree. Enjoy this now.
Will there though? There doesn't have to be. Yeah. I mean, as long as we continue to do what we're doing in NIL and when recruiting and the transfer portal and we adjust to the adjustments that the college football play.
If you hire the wrong guy one time, it could happen. Just a guy who can't handle the whole situation. It's such an important hire because it's such a difficult freaking program to run that you have to really pour over it. And thank God that Urban. I know I wanted Ryan gone at the Michigan game. I had owned up to it and I was wrong about it, but I'm glad Meyer and Gene spotted the guy instead of just like, let's do a nationwide search and just bring in 1,500 people to interview him. And they said, nah, we got the elite guy right here. Let's do it. It's so hard. And he had to learn on the job, no less, really. And to be able to manage through all the crazy twists and turns that college football's taken in the last few years while learning on the job and then finishing with a national championship in his 6th year, which means it's entirely his program. How do you spot elite talent like that? Our guys can do it, and thank God. I mean, Urban Meyer, don't get me wrong, he was already proven. Jim Tressel, to a degree, was already proven. Spotting Ryan Day was pretty impressive.
I don't like giving Gene Smith credit, but I guess I will have.
You know
to,
what? I will.
Cory.
You can give it to Urban. Urban's the one who stepped down,
Yes.
so Ryan could be the guy.
Thank you. You gave me an out. Thank you. Wargo, you're a former Buckeye, man. You've been a part of the program. And by the way, Ryan Miller says hi, Wargo. I saw him today, so that's for you. How has Ohio State been able to maintain the success so long, man?
Well, I think obviously it's with the coaching, a very intelligent hire with Ryan Day. The selections of the coaches, and I'm always going to be a John Cooper guy. I think John Cooper kind of set the tone toward the end of his tenure there in the mid '90s, getting the championship teams, high back Ryan that he was on, 1996, 1998. Jim Tressel took it over the top. Jim Tressel took it over the top with basically, a lot of Cooper's players in 2002. But we have championship coaches. Jim Tressel also was a very gutsy hire, if you think about it. He was a 1AA coach at Youngstown State. A lot of people I know when he first got hired, is this guy's never coached in the big time. Sure, he's won a lot of 1AA championships at Youngstown State. But can he coach in a big time? And I remember the interview he had with Andy Geiger, and that's the first question Andy Geiger asked him: "Can you coach in a big time?" And Tressel said something really cool. He said, "Well, the last time I checked, the yards it was still 100 yards on the field. The field went north to south." He had a great answer for that. So I think it's a great selection in coaches. We had Tressel, and then Urban. Obviously, at that time, he was at the height of his career. He was a machine. So that was a national title there. Tressel got a national title, and Ryan Day, and I felt the same way after the Michigan loss. I'm not going to say, hey, I'm the biggest Day fan, and I yelled at all the naysayers after the Michigan game. I was there, right there too. We all were feeling down and didn't have the confidence. So it's a great selection in coaching. As far as the dynasty goes, it keeps feeding itself. Recruiting. We had a great recruiting class. Did we sign a 4-star wide receiver just right now recently? And the transfer portal, we are a wide receiver university right now. People, if you want to go to the pros and be a first-round draft pick, come to Ohio State. So if we can keep reloading, getting that talent, filling the holes, and Ryan Day seems to be doing that. So I think, looking back, you never know if you're really in a dynasty, just like history, until you look back and say, wow, we were in a dynasty. But I definitely think it will continue to go that way.
Sean, you want to respond at all?
I think there's one important word that goes with everything. It's culture. Look at the culture we've had.
Amen.
I mean, John Cooper, I'll give him credit. I mean, he's the one that really turned the recruiting into, nationwide.
What was that?
And, I mean, John Cooper, he's the one that brought in all the NFL type players with the recruiting, going outside, to California, Florida, instead of just sticking to the Midwest. So, I mean, he started to get the program back to, where they were under Woody, and Tressel took it to the next step, then Urban, and Ryan has kept it rolling, man.
100%. Cory, I'll give you the last word on this, man.
Oh, last word. Mike brings up great points. I didn't even give Cooper his due. The early to late 90s, obviously, he had established a standard at Ohio State and kept getting pro-style players. Earl Bruce is a Hall of Famer, but, it's like almost like Earl Bruce at 9 wins a year was a down period for Ohio State between Woody Hayes and John Cooper, which is insane to say, because a lot of programs, like Mike brought up, Nebraska, would you want to be them dominant for so many years and then 25 years of just being mediocre at best? Heck no. Their best time after Tom Osborne and Frank Solich got fired was Bo Pelini basically pulling Earl Bruce type numbers,
Right.
and so that's their best time in 2000s. And I'm thinking, man, we're blessed. 11 wins is like the standard here. Like if you win 9 games here once, people start questioning your seat. That's how tough this position is, because the standard has been set so freaking high. And I admit, as I get older, I'm learning more and more to appreciate that. As you look at other programs who would kill for this kind of sustained success for, 30, 50 years or whatever. I mean, yeah, you're always saying, well, I wish we had more national titles. Yeah, I do too. But if you take that away, look at everything else. My goodness, we get to watch a great program year in and year out win a ton of freaking football games.
Tyler says, can you say in a way Cooper started this dynasty laying the foundation? 100% you can.
Mm-hmm.
I was with Ryan today. Ryan has made the argument to me multiple times that Cooper's really the one who put Ohio State on the map when it comes to recruiting coast to coast. That was Cooper's idea. That's why Cooper won the job from when he was hired in to replace Earl Bruce. He was going to take recruiting nationally for Ohio State, and the Ohio State brand from the East Coast to the West Coast has a lot to do with the fact that John Cooper did that. So yeah, there's. I mean, Cooper's a swear word to a lot of Ohio State fans, but I don't think we get to where we're at today without some of the groundwork that John Cooper laid.
We don't win the 2002 Natty without Cooper.
And I know Wargo is going to agree with me on that. So, being the John Cooper guy that he is. We did get a super chat that I need to read that I have avoided up to this point. So let me.
How dare you, sir?
Well, it's been a little clunky here starting out. Speedman 606 499 super chat. Anyone else excited about us finally getting an emphasis on special teams? Got us a place kicker, and hopefully we'll continue to get punters and kickers. Sean, you want to speak to that?
I'm happy. I mean, at least they brought in, even if he's not the starting kicker, they brought in competition for fielding. So, I mean, and the one thing is this kid's, he's known to hit 50-yarders. I mean, 53-yarders, 54-yarders. There's nothing saying that, fielding can hit the mid-range. You can always use the other guy as the longer ones. So, I mean, you can rotate the kickers. I mean, at least have an option. Last year fielding, we didn't know this at the end, but he had a torn muscle on his hip. So, I mean, if one gets hurt, we got another. I like that we have another one in the, behind him to step in.
It's a great point, Sean. Great point. And we find out that after the season, we had no one else to go to. That's why he was kicking. So
if he was healthy, we probably go undefeated last year.
I don't think that that's incorrect at all. I think you're 100% right. 100% right.
So we should fire Ryan Day.
Right. Oh, shoot. All right. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to try to get this thing squared away because the whole next part of the show is about that guy right there, Mike Wargo. We're going to let him take over, answer questions in the chat. So, chat, start firing questions for Wargo, and if you super chat them, they get moved to the front. And those are the first ones that get asked. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then I'll try to square this up here for everybody, and then we'll start firing questions at Wargo here. So hang tight, everybody.
Hey, Buckeye Nation. The OHIO podcast is thrilled to partner with Export Mouthguards, the innovators redefining protection in contact sports. Introducing the Ninja Pro Mouthguard, the strongest and most advanced mouthguard on the market. Engineered by dental experts, it's designed to deliver elite protection with a sleek, low-profile fit. Made with carbon fiber and multi-layer construction, it's impact tested to keep you safe from even the hardest hits. But that's not all. The Ninja Pro is 3D printed for 100% custom fit, offering unbeatable comfort and security for any athlete. From football to MMA, dominate your game with confidence while safeguarding your teeth and jaw. Getting started is easy. Use our home impression kit to create your custom fit and enjoy prepaid shipping. It's protection delivered right to your door. Plus, with a 1-year warranty and 100% satisfaction guarantee, and proudly made in the USA, the Ninja Pro is your ultimate defense on the field or in the ring. And here's the best part. When you visit exportguards.com, use promo code OHIO at checkout to get 20% off your purchase. That's right, 20% off elite protection made just for you. Protect your game, protect your future. Choose Export Ninja Pro Mouthguards, where innovation meets protection. Head to exportguards.com and use promo code OHIO today.
All right, we are back, everybody, and hopefully this will work out for us here. There's going to be probably a slight delay because I think Wargo's listening to us through his computer through YouTube, and so there might be a little bit of a delay. So just hang tight, and when you ask a question, there might be a delay before Wargo gets the answer. But Mike, good to have you with us this evening. The first question we're going to throw up here is from Speedman. He says, who was your biggest influence once you were on campus, Wargo?
Okay, I could hear the commercial, no problem. I don't understand why I can't hear you guys on my phone, but the commercial is fine. I'll answer the first question. Boy, that's a really Really, really wild question, because most of those players were all big influences to me. I don't know if you're looking from a player standpoint. I think in the weight room, working out, just like hitting my strength goals and everything like that and getting better. I looked up to a lot of guys on a team as far as that goes. I don't know if I have a biggest influence, but just just pretty much everybody and just the program and individual players and seeing what could be done and just seeing how you can improve as far as that goes.
Excellent. All right, next one here is from Brian Oberst. I'll maybe give him a second here to walk back to his computer so he can hear the question here, or maybe read it. But it says, Wargo, how many national championships do you think Cooper would have won if there was a playoff system like there is now?
That's a great question. I would say if you take a look at it, I think realistically, the team I was on might have had a shot. I mean, we did terrible against Michigan. We lost 28-0, but the team this year lost 28-0. If we would have said, okay, we're going to put that loss behind us and go into the playoffs, we still would have made the first round of the playoffs because we weren't ranked out of the top 12 during that season. So we were like 8th or 9th, I believe, when we went into the Holiday Bowl. So I think that team had the talent to do it. If we could have focused and played those teams, we had the same situation we had with the team now, where for whatever reason, when you got the maize and blue helmets on, all of a sudden, everything kind of just falls apart. And then, but they could play other teams and do well. So 93 had a shot. I think serious shot probability, obviously, 96 could have had a really good shot. And 98, I think, could have had a good shot. 95 too. So I think there could have been at least one national championship had of those 3-4 years had we had a playoff.
Yeah, Cory, you want to speak real fast to that as well, since I know that we're both 90s kids.
90s kids, just aging us. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to ask Mike probably a tough question here in the sense that it's hard to bring up. But what do you think it was the kryptonite for against that team up north? Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I used to say this. I don't agree with my own statements from the past. I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, Cooper didn't get the right." I just don't believe any coach that goes there doesn't get it. Obviously you guys worked hard. Obviously you prepared hard. Obviously you thought about that game. What was just that little kryptonite that would just trip you up in that game, do you think?
So the question is the kryptonite with Michigan. That's a great question. This is just my opinion, but I think I just think there's just a lot of pressure to it. I mean, there's always pressure to it with the Michigan game. They were a very good team at that time for the most part. I mean, they were, I believe, ahead of us in the Big Ten most of the early 90s. And I think 91, 92, and 93. So there were close games, but I think it's kind of the same psychology. Like when we go up against a team up north, let me see, 87 was the last year Earl beat them. And then 88 was Cooper's first year, which, that was his first year. So 89 loss. 90, most of those games came down to, 1990 came down to like an option play ran at the last minute. It was a bad play call. 91 that was Desmond Howard's Heisman pose. 92 we tied, which was the biggest victory in Ohio State. That saved Cooper's job. I just think, number one, this is my opinion, they kind of hyped Michigan week a lot, where I think it made the players a lot more nervous. I think if they would approach that more like a regular game, at least in the 90s, like they would stripe up the helmets. So like we would dress up, stripe the helmets up like Michigan. They would play the Michigan fight song really loud in practice. And I think everybody was just so hyper and hyped up. Like, you're probably had better athletes a lot of those years, but it's just like the pressure. And then every single year, and Ryan Day, thank God for the national championship, because I think that release, it's like a big, steam valve being released. But the pressure is just immense, especially when you have multiple losses. For Ryan Day now, this national championship, it will sustain him for a while. But if there's a loss to the team up north next year, which if that happens, people are going to forget about the national championship. But I just think the pressure was there. It's kind of like golfing, or it's kind of like once you start missing and doing it, it gets in your head a little bit. You got to figure out a way to get it out of your head. We had some bad luck, just some wrong plays and everything. But my last year, that was great. I wasn't able to play because I was injured, but we beat Michigan kind of like when the cards were off. It was 1994. The pressure was off. We got killed by Penn State. That's when they had a really great year, and we went and we beat Michigan. It was Cooper's first Michigan victory. So I think that would be the best way to answer that question.
It's a good one, man. Sean, get a question ready here in a little bit. We're gonna ask Mika's question next. This is a great question. Wargo's gonna love this question. So, all right, Mike. This is from our buddy Mika, and she says, Wargo, how do you feel about the Rudy movie, and would you be open to a movie about yourself? I love this question.
Well, I do love that question. Of course, everybody would kind of love a movie about themselves. I mean, my life has been extremely ordinary other than playing for Ohio State. I've had a good life and everything, but, I love talking about the glory days. So it'd be awesome. I think the movie was already made with the Rudy movie. I think that was a great movie. If people want to make it, that's fine. Do something from an Ohio State perspective. I also remember there's so many other guys that were in my situation. I really respect, and thanks to you guys, I'm getting recognition of being a Rudy of Ohio State, because I know so many other walk-ons that pretty much did exactly the same thing. But for whatever reason, I was in that play at that time when that movie came out. Life happens down to being in the right place at the right time for a few moments in your life, right? I mean, you got fade if you were a day late or a day short. If I would have never played, that might have never happened. But sure, if they want to do it, I don't know if it would sell anything, but I'd love to have a movie.
Well, the book's going to be made, so that's going to happen regardless. I just so everybody knows, Mike and I are going to make that happen. So be on the lookout for the announcement on that one. So, all right, Sean, it's your turn to get ask Mike a question here, buddy.
Okay, who is the best offensive player you played with, and probably the best defensive player that was on you were a teammate with at your time at Ohio State?
So I would say, oh my God, there's so many of them. The best offensive player, boy, I mean, you have a ton to pick from there. It's you take a look. I mean, we had Eddie George. He did great. He really kind of, after I left the program, he was the one, like in 95 and 96, he really increased. I think at the time, Joey Galloway was incredible. I never seen anybody run that fast. We tried out for the NFL, and that was like my big moment. If you're a senior at Ohio State, no matter what, if you played or never played, you get to try out for the NFL scouts there. It's kind of like pro day, they call it. So I'm all excited. I ran like a 5.2 40 at 285, and I benched a lot. And I'm like, hey, I got a shot at getting the NFL. Of course, I had no shot. But Joey Galloway ran right after me. He ran a 4.1 40.
Wow.
And it's like you're witnessing world record speed, like right in front of you. So he was definitely one of the best of them. I think defensive players, you got, Big Daddy. He was the first pick of the draft, and nobody could really block him. He basically was just incredible fast. There's just so many to choose from. I mean, we had Sean Springs on defense. Trying to think of people in the pros. It's a hard question to answer because there were so many great players. I remember just after my career ended, I'd be watching TV and see these guys in the pros for a couple decades. I used to go up against that guy. I used to go up against that guy. So those are the guys I liked.
Cool.
Yeah, Joey Galloway was, man, I would love to have seen Joey Galloway and Ted Ginn Jr. in a race. You want to talk about fast, man. All right, Wargo. This one's a little off Buckeye here, but I love it. This is right up my alley. Steely Matt wants to know, Wargo, what's your favorite food? And you might be able to stay right there because I'm not getting that feedback now, Mike.
I have it muted. My man, that's a great question. When I was at Ohio State, my favorite food was unfortunately pizza. Donato's. I still love Donato's. When I go to Columbus, I specifically order Donato's. We have it out here, but it's not the same. It's kind of like a frozen pizza, and they reheat it and they try to call it Donato's. I think some pizza places went out of business when I wasn't there. We had Catfish Biff's. We ain't got no fish at Adriatico's. So that was my favorite. Yeah, not the best meal, obviously, but there. My favorite food now, I love it all. Obviously, I like surf and turf, steak and lobster. Don't do that too much, but pretty much anything out there. But my favorite food at Ohio State was pizza. And the coolest part was you worked out so much you could eat a whole pizza and never have to gain any weight. But unfortunately, I found out the hard way after that ended. That was no longer true.
All right. I love all these questions that I'm reading here, guys. These are fantastic. We will try our best to get through as many of these as possible. And again, if you want to make sure that your question gets answered, if you attach it to a super chat, I definitely will throw that one up there. This one's kind of similar to the one that Sean asked, Mike. Who do you feel was the best player during your tenure at Ohio State? So kind of similar to the one that Sean asked.
Oh boy. If you want to go with per position, I think obviously I'm an offensive lineman, so I'm privy to offensive linemen. Cory Stringer, he was absolutely incredible as an offensive lineman in Orlando Pace. Cory Stringer, watching him play and how incredible that was. We were playing Michigan State one time, and he was dominating I want to get a tape of that game, 1993 Michigan State, but Cory Stringer was dominating that guy so bad. Every single day he was pancaking him and just destroying him. The guy got so frustrated he just started smashing into Cory to I guess thrown out of the game. But those guys were just incredible. Orlando Pace was so great. He started as a freshman, his very first game on campus, and basically that's what you're looking at. So that was great. Joey Galloway, as I said before, incredible receiver. It's hard really to nail that down because there were so many great players. And I'm getting cardio, which is good.
Yes, indeed. All right, next question here that I have starred for Mike. This one comes from somebody named Chris Wilds. I think we might know him.
Block him. Get rid of him. Stop.
No, we ain't blocking Chris. Come on. He says, Wargo, with all the changes to the game since you played, some for the better and some for the worse, what is the biggest issue with today's version of college football? Ooh, man.
Well, that's an easy one. The biggest change for the worse is it's $80 to get concessions at Ohio Stadium. That's definitely a change for the worse. But you take a look. It's just college football has just turned so much into a business. The revenue sharing, what's going on, the 105, is it Scott maximum players? Is that what it's going to be in that settlement? That's the end of the walk-on. I think that's the end of college football with the glory. A guy who never played that much at all could walk on to Ohio State and get to play. I think that's going to be over with. It's now turned into like pro football. Nick Saban really had a great when he talked to Congress. He's like, it used to be about helping kids. It used to be about doing the right things. Now these kids are like, how much are you going to pay me? How much are you going to pay me? You understand that from a perspective because when I was there, the per diem for a scholarship athlete, a lot of these guys have absolutely zero money and they got a scholarship. That's the only thing they can survive on was $35, I believe, for the weekend. And even in the early 1990s, that was terrible. So you see it that way, but it's just gotten so much out of control. It's just so much big business. It's great we're Ohio State fans because I think we're going to be one of the elite schools, but I think college football, the way we knew it decades ago, is done. And how are these other schools going to survive with the NIL and everything? And how Pitt, are they going to have an NIL like Ohio State? So I'm not going to get political, but I heard Trump might sign some kind of executive order. I don't know what he can do with that, but it's sad in a lot of ways. But I love the 12-team playoff. That's the greatest thing in the world. I wish we had that years ago, like we talked about earlier. So there's a lot of positives, but I think it needs to be reined in a little bit with the NIL stuff.
Yeah, 100% on that, man. Yeah, I agree. By the way, I'm still paying my college loans. I don't know about anybody else. I wish I would have had a little NIL. Oh, Boggsy wasn't good enough for NIL, that's for sure. All right, next question is from Tyler. He says, Wargo, how exactly do you think we should beat Michigan in Ann Arbor this year? So he's asking a specific question. You get the ear of Ryan Day, and you get to give Ryan Day some advice on how to win that game, Wargo.
I think number one, very easy. I think play like you played against the playoff teams. When we played Michigan, I have no idea what that game plan was. Woody Hayes would be like, that's too conservative. So I think if they open it up, kind of like when we played Oregon again, we lost to Oregon. If we would have played Michigan the way we played those playoff teams, they would have had to have gone to the hospital. It would have been 100-0. Open it up, believe in our players, have the feeling, hey, I'm a national championship. I won the national championship. I didn't have to cheat. I didn't have to have some little dude go film people in games. I didn't have to play games or whatever else they did to get the national championship. I did it when everybody thought I wasn't going to do it and I was going to get fired. Go in there with that confidence, throw it to Jeremiah Smith 100 times, throw it to our new receivers, run it down their throats. This team has a ton to prove because nobody on that roster has beaten Michigan. So just relax, open up the game plan, play the game like you played Notre Dame, play the game like you played all those other teams in the playoff. Michigan will not have a chance. We will destroy them.
Love it. Yes, I need that win. Like I need oxygen. I'm not lying. I need that win. We got a couple more here we need to get through here before we shut her down for the evening. Again, we appreciate Mike doing the extra cardio tonight to answer these questions. But this one comes from Lisa. She says, Mike, how would you go about it if you were a player today? Oh, without the walk on, that's a tough question there for you, Wargo. Let's see what you come up with.
That's a great question. I think to walk on today, it's got to be so infinitely harder to do. I don't even know. I think they do have walk-on tryouts. I saw something on the Ohio State football site, but you take a look. I mean, it's probably hard as a high school senior to get into Ohio State now because what are they doing? They're trolling the transfer portal to see the people that have gained college experience. As far as that goes, I would do the same thing. I mean, I would call the recruiting office. How I did it is I just was a pain in the butt. I called the football offices. I asked around, how do you get them involved with it? I think Ohio State's so much different now. They're national champions. When I was trying out for the team, Ohio State lost to Air Force in the Liberty Bowl, and a lot of their recruiting class in 1991 kind of flew the coop, no pun intended, because everybody thought Cooper was going to get fired. So I think I was in the right place at the right time. But I would go about it the same way. I highly doubt I would have even gotten a look, but that's how I would have done it.
This next question is fantastic. From Chris, but I'm gonna save that. Chris, I'm gonna save your second question for the end because I love that question. Let's do Brian's question next. He's wanting to know, Wargo, if you were on the Ohio State team that beat Washington at home. So was that 95 or 90? I can't remember. It was either 94, 95, or 96.
Absolutely. That was 1993. It was our second game, and it was really cool because it was a night game. And we had very, very few night games before that point. They're a regular thing now. But back then, it was our first night game. So it was so exciting. We were playing them, and they had Napoleon Kaufman. They were a great team, and I don't know if they were favored, but I don't think people expected us to win. And that was the first real catalyst, I think, first real obstacle that we got to say 1993 is going to probably be a good team because we beat Washington at home. It was an exciting night. It was great. I got on TV a few times, which I was excited about, just, on the sidelines harassing the cameraman. So we beat Washington in 1993. That is correct.
Yeah, and Brian Ober says that he was at that game. That was his first game. Cool. That is cool. All right, let's go. One more question here for Mike. Really appreciate Mike's time here. I love this question. God, I love this question, Chris. Mike, if we did the Mike Wargo movie, what players would be most likely to come in and lay down their jerseys on Coach Cooper's desk like in Rudy on your behalf? I love this question. This is a great question.
Oh, boy. Well, number one, I don't think that really happened factually in the movie, right? That was kind of like creative license, but it was really cool. That's a great question. I mean, I loved all the players. They all seemed to like me. I got along with everybody. Like Ryan Miller, great example. Awesome guy. Just great guy. Maybe Herbie and Ryan Miller. I don't know who would lay down their jerseys to play. I mean, I think everybody's kind of worried about their own situation and getting in the game. But everybody was so happy when I got in that game. I'll never forget that. At Penn State, like I got in that game, and it was so cool because all the fans ran out on the field after that play because we were 8-0. That's the first time we were 8-0 for a long, long time. And the magic was special. We're feeling a Big Ten championship that night, the Rose Bowl, number 3 in the country. And it was just great. And I got in the locker room, and Cooper's going through his meeting. I was like, hey, give Wargo an ovation. Wargo got in the game. And everybody was fired up about it. So I guess that would answer the question.
Excellent. That was cool. All right, guys. We really appreciate Mike's time tonight and for everybody hopping in. I know it was a little bit different this evening. We worked our way through it, but we got through it, everybody. I believe if Chris is back tomorrow, he'll take over for the call-in show. If not, I will fill in for Chris. Cory, welcome back home to Florida. It's good to have you back. Everybody's dying to know, how's Lisa doing, Cory?
She doing good. She doing as good as always.
So I'm going to take an EvuMex tutorial class next time. So I will nail it down. I'll do some remedial training. But hey, just like the Buckeyes, sometimes we meet adversity. We got to do the best we can. We got to adapt, improvise, and overcome. So thank you guys very much. I apologize it took this long to get on the broadcast, but always great to see you guys. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thanks, Mike.
I think we need to put Mike on the spot here with Alex Martin's super chat there.
Oh, let's see. Alex Martin got a super chat for you, Mike. I don't know if you can still hear us or not. Alex says, Mike, I probably saw you on campus, class of 94. I was friends with Robert Smith. Back in the day, he walked off the team. We all knew he couldn't stand Cooper. What's your take as to why he walked off? Ooh. Oh,
he's coming.
He's coming in to answer this one, Alex.
That name sounds familiar. I was wondering if he lived in World Tower. It was from New York.
Yes.
But maybe you can
Yes.
put that in the comments. That was really interesting. My freshman year, I was just a normal guy at Moral Tower, fun, having fun like all of us. And then I made the team. And then my second week on the team, I survived the freshman camp. Everybody's like, we all have a meeting, and it's a players' meeting. And Robert Smith just said, I can't handle this. I want to be a doctor. And basically, he had a problem with the offensive coordinator, Elliot Uzelak. I think Elliot Uzelak and him just did not get along. I would take Robert Smith's side on that one. He was really kind of a gruff guy and aggressive. So that was a shock. Robert Smith left the team, but we got him back in 1992. He was an absolutely awesome guy. He was a great guy to me. I was so happy for his success when he got drafted in the first round of the Minnesota Vikings, and it was great to have him back. And he's just a great player, and we got him back. So the thing I look up to is he put it on the line. Most players would just say yes, sir, and I'll keep playing, and they're afraid to lose their scholarship, and he wasn't afraid to do that. And at the end, it was Elliot Uzelak that ended up having to leave. And this is all in the papers. There was an issue. What happened was Robert was not on the team in 1991, and he's an excellent athlete. So he was on the track team with Coach Russ Rogers. And John Cooper obviously wanted him back on the team. So they had a meeting in the winter of 1992. And so Coach Cooper, Elliot Uzelak, and Robert Smith. And this is a story I heard. Elliot Uzelak wanted him to say that he basically made all this stuff up about him because it got in Sports Illustrated. Robert Smith stormed out. And then Cooper's like, John Cooper said, you were supposed to have me in the room before you interacted with Robert Smith. You did not listen. So Elliot Uzelak was gone because he tried to force Robert Smith to confess in a recording that basically that's what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not. That was what I heard. I know it was in the might have been in the papers, but we were so glad to have Robert Smith back. He's a great guy. So, he was really nice to me.
Wow. What a story. Man, what a story. So I'll give Mike a second to get back so he can hear us here. I'm muted. But yes, Mike, this is Alex Martin from New York. This is the one you were thinking of. So yeah, that is Alex Martin.
I do remember Alex Martin now. I remember he's from New York.
Yeah, there you go. Very cool. All right, Cory, you were saying about Lisa.
Oh no, she's doing fine. So yeah, she's gearing up for next season to bring BFF back. So.
All right, excellent. Sounds good, man. Yeah. So, Alex, I'll get with Mike, and if he wants your information, I can give it to him, buddy. So we're going to wrap this thing up. Sean, thank you for filling in for Chris tonight. We appreciate that. Mike, thank you for joining the program this evening. I'll contact you as soon as we're done here, Mike. I got a question for you. Good to have you back, Cory, with us this evening, everybody. Tomorrow night's call-in show, 8:00 Eastern. Don't miss it. Hit the thumbs up on your way out, everybody. We appreciate all of that. Remember, be kind to one another. I owe someone's OH in Carmen, Ohio, with all your heart. Till next time, OH.
Go
Bucks.